Well, no, it shouldn't be, Mark. That's the downside. It shouldn't be. Yeah. All right, I got to run. I'll talk to you later. Keep me posted on how it goes. Your meeting with you're going out tonight to look at the trailer, right? All right, cool. And don't commit to a number until you talk to me. Thanks, Mike. Sorry, Tim. How are you, brother?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
I was just talking to Mark. We're buying equipment.
Oh, for the other company you own.
The Family Fence Factory.
That's right. How's that going?
It's going really well, except for we're showing a lot of numbers on the books, but we're not making any money.
You're not losing any money.
We're not losing any money, but we're not making any money.
Well, if you can go through COVID not losing any money, then
yeah, that's true. And so we learned a lot this year, and so next year we better get it right.
I'm just thinking. Since February, I can't believe we haven't done this.
I know, exactly. With Zoom as being so easy at this point, you're right. Exactly.
I mean, I'm sure that there's been days that I've been on 4 or 5 at a time, so.
I've been on 3 today already.
Well,
and you know me, I don't like these things, Tim.
But you're so good looking. Christine thinks you're like Sean Connery good looking.
My wife says to me, if you could only speak with that Scottish accent, it would change everything.
We just get you into some acting classes. You could learn a brogue.
First of all, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah. I'm blessed. I can't believe. It. Yeah,
I like
blessed
your backdrop.
and great. Yeah, this was we did an event for a client, Back to the Future event.
Yep.
And we illustrated this and we wrapped the entire 90-foot room to look like the diner in the movie. So
okay. Mm-hmm.
And after the event was over, I took it off the walls, folded it, and behind this curtain that is about 20 feet long is all of our junk.
It's that storage room that you always had, right?
It's storage.
Yeah.
You can see,
It's that one room that you always had. Yeah, it's perfect for you.
It is, and I get lots of compliments on the backdrop. I had to put my logo over.
I saw that. I like that. That's great.
Because in the movie it says "kick me," and so for the first 4 or 5 Zooms, people would make a comment, "kick me." I didn't think it was the best message to be sending to people.
And you and Christine are good?
We're fine. She's struggling, man. It's bad. It's really, he left 2 Saturdays ago in a huff. Hasn't been back but once. And when he came back, he treated her like shit. When I say treated her like shit, literally called her, "You're a piece of shit" to me. She's done.
Let him go. Where's he staying?
He's staying with his father, and he's now treating his father like shit. And now his father gets to see what a joy he is.
Perfect.
So I'm being as supportive as possible. I want to fucking kill him.
Right. My only question is I personally think that you and Christine should be in counseling because of it together.
Something. She's going to counsel. She's starting counseling next week on her own.
As long as she's doing it, that's most important. But it would be ideal if you and her could do it together for the obvious reasons that you are supportive.
Yeah, and she's been very good to me over the last couple of weeks. Thanking me for staying with her, sticking through this.
She's lovely, Tim. She's lovely.
She is lovely, but I don't really like living there. For a number of reasons.
I don't blame you. So I may have an option for you.
Okay.
I sold my house.
Yep.
I think I did. Anyways, the inspections are finishing, and so I was talking to my younger brother who lives in Mass, Michael.
Yep. Michael.
I said, so I need to find 2 houses, and Michael said, "What are you telling me?" And I said, "Nothing." He said, "Are you and Kim okay?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I love my wife dearly. We're perfect. Kim wants to be near the grandkids."
And that's in Maryland, right?
Well, it's probably going to be in the Poconos. That's where we're going to go look for a house. No, that's okay. I don't mind a waterfront. I said, but Michael, I've always wanted a cabin on the side of a mountain on the edge of a river.
Okay.
And Michael said, me too. And I said, great. I said, I got a couple of caveats. I want it on a river. I don't want it on a lake. I want a little motorboat. I want to be able to putt around the river up and down, you know. I want a long driveway. And he said, why do you want a long driveway? I said, so I can look down my rifle butt to see who's coming. He said, me too. So I said, all right, good. I said, when I sell my house and we finally start looking, your task, Michael, to help me find a place maybe in New Hampshire so that we can, and so if I have a place in New Hampshire, you can come hang out too.
Sounds great. Sounds great. I'm, like I said, blessed. The COVID has been great for my business, you know.
Has it really?
Yeah, we're up like, again, I can't say this enough because, I really prayed hard about it and I made some right decisions for once in my life. I'm completely debt free.
Congratulations.
Thank you. My credit went back to higher than where I was before I bought my house. I don't feel that pressure anymore. I still owe a little bit on my car, but no credit card debt at all.
Perfect. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And then God's opening some great doors for me that could be like really huge projects and huge opportunities that
great.
could be the home run at the bottom of the ninth that I need, and I would really like to just go find a house. I'd like to leave. You're gonna say don't do it. I'd like to leave Christine, find a place of my own until this whole drama when Ryan finally moves out of the house is done, and then we could start our own somewhere else. So,
but she may have moved on by then.
And honestly, I'd be okay with that. I'm really not in. I love her, but I don't foresee. Some things have to change, and and I've been very patient about a lot of things. I won't get into them, but anyways, back to business.
Is he old enough for college? Is he going to college?
No, he's not going to go to college. He'll barely get out of high school. And we had set him up into a kind of to become a plumber or an electrician in that kind of, because he's really good with his hands. But he's failing that too. So she thinks that what's going to happen is all of his friends are going to go on to be a senior and Ryan's going to quit school. So it's just I'm in for another 4 or 5 years of this. And I don't know whether I'm up for it, honestly. So
you've heard this story before, but I'm going to share it with you again. My son, Patrick.
Yep.
I told all my kids I'd pay for college. Right. And so, but my son clearly had no interest, really, finished high school, but wasn't a great student. So I said, I said, don't waste my money. Don't go to college unless you really want to. I said, go get a job. Now, fortunately enough for me, we're going to talk a little bit about this. My son grew up in our home and he has a really huge drive. He's got a strong work ethic.
Right. That's
so
I
said,
does not have that.
Right. And that's a problem, right? So I said to Patrick, I said, go to work, go get a job. So he ran out, got himself a job as a roofer.
Yeah.
And Tim, I couldn't have picked a better job for Patrick, right? Because who the hell wants to be a roofer?
No one.
Long term, right? But he got this job with this company that did slate roofs. So he was learning a trade. And 5 years into it, he had 2 DUIs.
Right.
2. First one bad. Second one gave the cop shit too. So got a little worse. Yep. So the second one, I said, all right, this one, and it was still living under my roof. And I said, so I'm going to pick where you do your volunteer work, because he had to do community service. And I picked the local no-kill shelter. The first one was he swept out the local firehouse every night. What the hell is that for, So he went over to this no-kill shelter, and the woman fell in love with him because she could see this immediate ability with these dogs. Just, he loves dogs, immediate ability. So it drove that interest in him becoming a dog trainer. Coincidentally, exactly the same time, Shauna had this dog trainer that was a lot like Patrick that was training one of her dogs. So Patrick saw this, and then naturally, you know, the rest of it. He went to school. I paid for the school, 25 grand a year for dog training school.
Right.
Who the hell knew? Who knew there were dog training schools out there, right? Anyways, there's hope for Ryan. But you're right. You've got to do everything in your power to get your emotions out of it.
Mm.
So you can actually either decide that, you know, you're going to take a break, and there's nothing wrong with that. Christine will understand it. Or, you know, you kind of step aside for now. Reality is Christine's in the driver's seat. And if she doesn't force Ryan to go immediately to work and get the hell out of the house, then, you know, it's lost forever. He'll always.
This is we'll do another Zoom and I'll tell you the details, but it's not going to end well. And even if I think it will end well, but it's 3 or 4 years down the road.
Kick him the hell out as soon as he finishes high school,
yeah.
Graduate or otherwise.
I'll tell you,
tough love.
When we do have a couple of minutes, and I share this story again, I want it to be when you have absolutely nothing to do. I will tell you the story, and you will be blown away. You'll go, okay, Tim, you do have to leave.
And I know you're a patient man, and I know you love Christine, and I know she loves you, and I get the challenge, and I've heard it in your voice, you know, even though we haven't done Zooms, but I know for the last 4 years, it's been tough, and it's gotten certainly much worse.
At least the last 2 years that I've lived with her, you know, I went, and again, it's not about, to me, it's not about, you know, having the nice house and all that kind of stuff, although I worked hard for that other house. But now I'm living in a very small house, and it's just not, and we're just not compatible when it comes to cleaning and cooking. And it's
so here's my suggestion. My suggestion isn't go buy another house for yourself or even rent a condo. My suggestion is look around the Merrimack, Nashua, Manchester area for a commercial building you can buy.
Yeah, good idea.
Right? Yeah. Move your business and then build an apartment in it so that you have a place to go. Right?
Have you ever been to this studio?
I have, and it's a perfect building. I'd love to own that building.
Yeah.
That building is a building I would love to own.
So when I came back from Vegas and COVID had just started, I quarantined here for 18 days because Christine treats cancer patients.
Yep.
If this place had a shower, I'd never leave. It's freaking awesome, you know.
But
now
if you could find a building like that you could buy, and naturally buy it from the business because the business credit rating is very good.
Yep.
And then build a little studio, and then if you do decide to fall in love with her again, and you can always rent it out and make more money.
Right.
So
we'll figure it out. She knows. She said to me last night, you know, I know you didn't sign up for this. I'm really sorry. Thank you for staying with me. And I'm nodding and loving on her, but thinking I really would like to support you from afar. You know, that's what I would like to do. I'd like to come see you 3-4 times a week. I'd be there for every time you called me. I just don't want to roll up my sleeves and help out with a situation that I have zero input on.
Right.
Because I've never had kids.
It's affecting your ability to. No, it has nothing to do with
No. She told me because I was very clear on how I would handle things. And she's like, how do you know you've never had kids? So, you know, I was intimately.
It's only a defensive mecanism for her.
It is. Yeah. Anyway. So let's talk about this.
You're going to write a book, huh? What's the book?
Yeah. Let me give you the Reader's Digest version. So I met up with this group. There's a sales guru named Jeffrey Gittimer. You probably have heard of him.
Okay. Yep.
All right. So he had this class called the New Normal class. And it was $97, and it was a bunch of modules, videos, and it was a bunch of regurgitated content. But what came with it was a Facebook group. And in this Facebook group, there were about 20-something people out of the 400 that I kind of hit it off with. And one of the guys spun off this group called Megamind. And out of this group has come a bunch of really great people. And it's kind of motivated me because a lot of the people are writing their own books. They're all sales and marketing people. And as you know, in these days, your book is your business card, you know? And
Yep.
so I'm thinking, I've got so many stories and so many amazing people in my life that have been in sales and marketing. And I have a father who's an author,
Right.
so
Yeah. So you got
so
the skills, you got the talents, you just got to put them to use.
right. So I reach out to my dad, and of course, we just wrapped up his website, and he's like, absolutely, I'll help you. He goes, I'm not going to put my name on it. What I want you to do is I'm going to send you an outline. So he sent me an outline. And I'm like, Dad, he goes, okay, why don't you just verbally, throw up on the page and we'll put it in order. I'm like, okay. So I'm going to go
That's a good
story by
idea.
story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but what I thought I would do instead of, because I have a lot of stories and I'm writing down different things that have happened over the years, and all the way back to the WISE method. I'm not bullshitting you, and so I started thinking, instead of doing call outs from like Napoleon Hill or Dale Carnegie, I have a plethora of amazing people in my life that have been in sales and marketing and just crushed it. So why don't I interview them, find out what worked for them, and use those quotes and call outs in the book? Hold on.
Yep. Go for it.
Yeah, don't need it. It'll ring, but don't worry about it. Yep. So I've got a list of like 5 questions, and I'm recording this. If you don't mind, I'm not going to take notes. I'll look at it again. And I just want to see, because a lot of this will help me understand everyone else's thought process and how it works for them. So well, first of all, you are one of the best I've ever seen. And that's why I reached out to you first. I've never met anyone better on the phone. It doesn't exist. I mean, I used to sit in that other office on Concord Street and just marvel at how it just, fluid and overcome objection and all of those kind of things. So my hat is off to you. But
thank you.
So I won't go in any particular order, and I may not even get to all 6, but what would you say in your life in sales and marketing is a key strength that set you apart from others?
So I showed your note to my wife.
Okay.
And she was very flattered, naturally. And she immediately said to me, and I never thought of this, she immediately said to me, "You are the hardest working man I know."
Okay.
And now I tried really hard to make sure I had a balance, but when I'm working, I'm, me, I'm focused, right? So I got a bunch of kind of pieces to give you that were kind of what motivates me in sales is knowing all the details. So before I call Tim Lord, I've done my research on you. And or I've done my research on your company, or I've done my research on what it is. And I was very fortunate to be brought up by 2 parents that were also very driven. So I guess it's just innate. My brother and my sister are also hardworking people. So it's a DNA. I can't take credit for it. It's a DNA thing.
Sure.
I don't think I ever thought about this before, but I was thinking about this, based on your email. I'm the first guy in the office every day. Always was. I do my research. When I get to the office, I look at the marketplace. I go out well before, now all the blogs are available, which are, just a plethora of data. But even way before that, I'd read newspapers, and I would read tech magazines, and I'd make phone calls and talk to people and what have you. So I was well prepared about what the marketplace was doing that exact day, so that I could be ahead of it. Like you said, overcoming objections. I want to anticipate what your questions will be, so I do my homework on you and then on the circumstances around. So for me, it's I make up for, and I talk a lot about in my business the EQ and the IQ.
Okay.
I understand the EQ within me, but I don't have the IQ at the level that a lot of people that I talk to. So to compensate for that, I don't play with it. I don't shroud it. I don't make myself out to be something I'm not. I have more data than you do. and I'll overcome all of your intellectual questions because I know the details. So I do my homework. That's the thing that I've always prided myself in, knowing when I'm talking to a person. I won't call, if I call someone cold, I'll set up an appointment and then I'll do all the homework that I need to do before I actually get into the details. I'm also blessed because I know God's blessed me abundantly in my life. And so he's given me enough knowledge about who I am and what my strengths are. I'm also very fortunate that I've been married for 43 years this month to a woman that is my biggest advocate. And that's a good thing, right?
Yeah,
that's important.
Yeah.
I love the telephone, Tim, because I don't have to be somebody else. And I've trained myself, and you know this about me. I'm pretty much an introvert personality-wise. You've seen me in parties. I want to sit back and just watch. I'm not the guy. I'm not you. You've got this larger than life personality, and this such accommodating personality that people just migrate to. I don't have that by nature. But when I'm on the phone, I'm a very different person than I am face to face. And I've shared this with you, I think, over years. My phone presence is a learned behavior because I love what I do. And so I do my research and I do my homework to become the person that I am on the phone. But if I'm face to face, I'm not that person.
Do you remember a time when you started out? Because you went from the frying pan right into the fire. Do you remember a time where it clicked and you went, "Oh, yeah, I am good at that"?
It was a natural transformation to recruiting, because back then in '82, there were no computers, there were no conference calls, there were no video conferences. They weren't even, they were barely fax machines back then.
Right.
So I immediately started to just have this confidence being on the phone. And so when I'm on the phone, I've trained myself to not only hear your words, and you've heard me say this before. I listen to your pauses. I listen to your tone, elevating and up or down. I listen to your heart rate. I get to the point where I can almost visualize you on the phone when I ask you a hard question, looking up or looking down. Right? The tells, right?
Yeah.
If you're looking up one way, you're looking to lie. If so I've learned to listen to the void. I was fortunate to have a training program when I way back right out of the service, when I was first in retail. They sent me to professional selling skills. And I learned fundamentally, I'm very good at learning when it comes to someone teaching me. So I learned from that day on that I talk 30% and listen 70. I ask open-ended questions. I never ask or elicit a question that's going to give me a yes or a no. I pause. I wait. I know that when I close, the next person who speaks loses.
Right.
So I learned all of that from Xerox's professional selling skills. And so I incorporated all that in because, again, I'm not the IQ guy. I'm the EQ guy. Right. So I can't think faster than you, and I can't overthink, what you're going to come up with. So I stay with my strengths and my tactics. I learned how to get you to tell me more by just giving you an educated grunt. Oh,
Oh yeah, I learned that, and I learned that at J. Riggins.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And so I've been very fortunate to fall into a life of experiences that I love. But my wife probably hit it most on the head. I pride myself in being very detailed, very fastidious about doing my homework and my research. If I don't work harder than you to get your business, then I don't deserve your business.
So preparation is everything.
Preparation is huge, and detailed knowledge about your business. When I talk to someone on the phone, I assume certain things. One, it's a personality. It isn't. I'm not recruiting you, and I'm not trying to sell you. It's a connection. I'm trying to make a connection. So that's the learned behavior, because that's not my nature. Second, I go into it knowing that in order for me to ask you hard questions, I've got to be willing to give you information. It's a two-way conversation. If it's not a two-way conversation, you have no interest. You're going to lose interest in me very fast.
Right.
Right?
You're giving them something. Right.
Right. I'm going to be, so I know something about you. I know something about your boss. I know something about your company. I know something that I might even know something about your company that you don't know, that I'm willing to share with you.
Sure.
So I do that preparation, knowing that the only way I'm going to build a relationship and a trust with you is by being willing to, frankly, give you data.
Yeah.
And have a two-way conversation.
That's great. I think that especially these days, those kind of things are lost.
Yeah.
On the new sales generation.
Yep.
They don't really care. They want to close, and they've got sales managers that are no better than they are, just pounding them for numbers, you know?
Yep. You've seen this, right? You've seen this on my desk, and I still have it. Can you read this?
Yep, I do remember that. I think you gave me a sample of that years ago. Hold that up. I'm going to do a screenshot and share that with
I can send you an email with it if you want.
Hold on. That's awesome. Okay. That is awesome. That's great. All right. So how about this? One huge success and one miss.
My biggest success is building a relationship with a man that I believed was going to be a superstar in the marketplace, Bill McDermott,
Mm-hmm.
and him inviting me to go with him to SAP. It changed my career trajectory. It changed. I never considered going corporate. You know that. I was always an agency guy, right?
Well, you went to Siebel first, right?
But I went to Siebel as a consultant.
Oh, okay.
Now they did make me an offer, and I did take the offer, and that's where I met Bill. And Bill was the head of sales, and he was my customer because I ran all the field recruiting for him globally. And so he and I built a relationship in the 15 months that he was there. So my biggest success is being smart enough to know enough about the marketplace, and being a person that knows that in order for me to be successful, I've got to build a trust. I've got to become your trusted advisor by earning it, not by expecting it.
Right. You can't just hang a shingle and say, I'm a trusted advisor.
Right.
That's over time.
And I didn't work any harder for Bill than I did any of my other clients, but I was fortunate enough. It was all the right time and God's plan. And, Bill was catapulting. And the first person he took with him to SAP was me.
That is amazing. So one miss that you wish that you could do over again.
That's a good one. I got so many misses, Tim.
Well, if you were a baseball player and hit 350, you'd be a Hall of Famer. So
I don't think I even get close to 350, but let me think. The biggest miss has to be Cliff.
Oh, okay. Meaning it wasn't the right situation, or
it was absolutely the right situation for me to go there. Better than anybody, it was God's plan, right? The biggest miss I made was not taking the time to figure a way to wait on God to convince Cliff to sell me his business. I asked him several times. I was frustrated at the time that I was doing this after 9 years with him. So I let my frustration drive my ego. I should have been more patient, and I should have figured a way for him to value that acquisition, because it would have been the best thing for his family and mine at the time. And
it wasn't God's plan.
No, no. It was God's plan, but I wasn't listening.
So you did have the discerning spirit, but decided against that.
I was pushing, and I think you know this. So I started my own business, right, in my basement. You and I were there.
I was
I
there.
had $500 in the bank, Tim. I had nothing. I had a massive mortgage and 2 kids, and and he hit me with a non-compete.
I remember.
And I went to him and I asked him, can we work this out? I'll give you 50% of my first year's income. I tried really hard, but I had burned that bridge with Cliff. And that, to this day, bothers me. Because he is as much as he had his own demons and his own weaknesses, he was a big component of God's plan in my life. And I knew that.
Right.
And I knew that had God taught me to have worked that differently and been a more patient and respectful man, that would have benefited both of our lives. He went bankrupt because of that.
Yeah, I remember.
And,
There was some tax issues with 941s from what I remember.
right. Well, and Barbara, apparently there's some collusion, something going on with her, and I know you kind of got whacked with it too before I knew about that.
Yeah, and she's still doing books for one of my friends from Arizona, but that's a story for another time.
Mm-hmm. So that's my
right.
biggest miss.
Okay. Last question.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide which of the two I want to ask you. All right. Well, I guess they kind of. I'll make them one question.
Okay.
Looking back, what one thing would you do differently, and what would you tell the rookie salesperson, Pat Fitzgerald?
What would I do differently? It took me a long time to know my own strengths and weaknesses. I'm a better project leader than I am go ahead.
Can I put you on hold for a second?
Yeah, go for it. Yep.
I'll tell you what I'm doing when I get back.
All right, good.
Alexa, stop. All right, I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
So the truth is that I bought a really nice oven here for the office, and I usually cooked for my team all the time, and I was kind of missing them, so I'm cooking a meatloaf. All right, so you said
that's the only thing my wife could never learn how to cook is a meatloaf.
Oh, it's easy.
And I love meatloaf.
Well, next time you come, I'll make you one.
All right, good.
So it took you some time to discover your own limitations.
Yeah. And what I like and what I'm good at versus what my ego tells me I should be, right? In my world, like yours, being a manager of big budgets and big teams, frankly, based on the world's standards, is success. Right? I'm a much better team lead than manager.
Okay.
I love managing bigger players to be better. I hate hiring and managing junior people and doing their administrative assessments every year.
So that's what you would tell your younger self is, shoot for that.
Yeah. Stay focused on what you're good at and don't let your ego take you in a direction that isn't one of your strengths. Awesome. Now I've run big budgets and big teams, and I was miserable. But everyone thought that, I ran global budgets and global teams, 50, 60 people, everyone thought, he's arrived, I hated it. Miserable.
Yeah.
When I shifted over and was smart enough to realize that it was really more about just managing a small team of big, high impact people and putting them in the right guardrails and letting them, frankly, grow beyond me, I loved it. Loved it.
That's great.
Yeah.
That really is amazing. Well, I think you've given me some great content. This is amazing. I always like talking to you about these kind of things because there's so many stories that we both share in common and that I've learned from you over the years. And I swear to God, I did in my notes while I was writing down some of the things that over the years, right there. Let's see, the WISE method. Because think about it, as funny as that is, it's really, you can make that. I don't know who came up with it. Maybe it was you or it was corporate.
I think we all put it together.
It really pertains to almost any kind of sale.
Yeah, it
really
does. It does. It does.
Yeah.
But reality is that you got to mix a little bit of the old school. You just got to work hard. If you love what you do, and if you're fortunate enough to do something that you really enjoy, then you just got to work at it. I'm blessed. I'm blessed beyond measure, and I know that.
Right.
It doesn't and money isn't the answer. It's how happy I am with who I am.
Right. Well, I think you told me, and maybe some of my others managers told me, and it's buried in work harder. The numbers don't lie. So if you're not working, then the numbers will show that.
That's right.
The rock star that died, Prince, had this saying. He said one time in an interview, money doesn't buy happiness, but it sure pays for the search.
I've always said to those around me that success isn't measured by money. Money is the reward of success.
Right.
It can't be the lord of success over you. And that's the problem with a lot of people, right? I make more money than so-and-so, so I'm better. No, I'm not.
Nope. Well, Pat, I am not going to keep you any longer. I love you with all my heart. And I promise I miss you too. We're going to do these Zooms more now that I know that you know how to use the camera. I was almost wondering whether I was going to be on camera and you were going to call in. And don't tell me you didn't think of it.
Oh no. I know how to use Zoom. I just hate it.
Well,
in fact, I hate it so much I don't have it loaded on my laptop. So every time I have to do a Zoom call, I got to go through all these gyrations of download it now. Fuck you! I'm not downloading it. I don't know on my computer. Sorry for that on a recording.
No problem. I love you, my friend.
I love you too, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right, bye.